Good morning, Ms. Sigels-Ncube. Good morning, Ms. Bowe. And good morning, Mr.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning,
Kize.
Commissioners.
Yeah, I'm not discriminating. That's because they both led. So this side, I only recognize or acknowledge the lead counsel. Thank you, but good morning, good morning. Good morning, General.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Sigels-Ncube.
Good morning, General.
Good morning, Advocate.
General, before we progress, hopefully, this morning to the other topics on the call, I just wanted us to go back to your evidence regarding your understanding or your version that you gave about what you meant by reporting to the other side. You will recall that you had exchanges not only with myself but with the commissioners as well regarding that aspect. You recall?
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay. Now, I understand that you also want to deal with it to some extent, and I'll give you an opportunity to do so. General, but before we do that, if I can just repeat what I understand your evidence to be about that. You said that by the other side, reporting to the other side, that General Sabia wanted the information for the other side. You were referring to Mr. Molefe's family, correct?
I made that concession later because my first response was the other side of General Sibia and his faction.
Yes.
And I was pressed to say I must mention names. And again explained that it seems I'm lying under oath. Then I considered, because I want to mention any other person, because of the reason that I didn't have concrete evidence against any of those people who might be perceived to be on his side. I even included myself that sometimes I was considered to be on his side. And without having any evidence that really he was going to share with them or is for their benefit and without any other reason. So I decided to say I don't want to mention any person because I'll be just making a vague, or it's just my perception. Hence now, the other option was, anyhow, I was sent by him to inquire about the detention status of Mr. Molefe. So I decided to say the family, because they are the ones who phoned him, according to him, that not phoned, I'm not sure of that. What he was told, it was that they wanted to know where. They were complaining about not knowing where is he detained. So that was the reason, what I wanted to clarify.
General, I may be covering ground that I covered with you yesterday, and which my co-commissioners also covered, but I cannot help but say this. You say in so many words that you were referring to the other faction of SAPS, and you referred to General Sibia as being part of that faction. And clearly, from what you are saying, that's who you were referring to at the time the recording was made. I have difficulty understanding how that can, upon engagement in this commission yesterday, how that can suddenly change to the family. You say in so many words, at the time, reference was to the other faction. How does that suddenly change? I don't understand. Because the reason you give, or the reasons you give for the change, are a sense of discomfort that you now have, and also the difficulty of identifying those within that faction. But that cannot then change who you were referring to. It cannot. What you should rather say is, one, I have a discomfort saying more about that faction. Two, I cannot even identify the people in that faction except for General Sibia. I would understand you if that's what you were saying, but for the identity of open quote, this other side, close quote, suddenly changing, I don't understand that, and I will never understand that.
Commissioner, I agree with Commissioner that indeed I was referring to General Sibia, and when I said this other faction, and having difficulty to identify or to say specifically who is in his faction from the police
and
side.
then that cannot change upon being
Yes.
engaged by the commission. It should stay there. That's who you were referring to when you said this other side. It should stay there. It should remain there. Not so.
Yes, but yeah, when I was overwhelmed with now lying to the commission and whatsoever, I decided to end.
No, reference to you lying was only after you had changed. If you hadn't changed, nobody would have suggested that you are lying on this.
Yes, Commissioner, I agree. That is why I wanted to indicate that the difficulty was that I can't put a name or say these are the people on his faction whom I think they were going to share with.
All right. Then towards the end of the debate, I think it was with Commissioner Baloyi,
Yes.
you even referred to, so a reference was, that is the changed reference was no longer only to the family, but you also referred to perpetrators, and I think you even referred to friends. Who are the perpetrators that you were talking about?
No, I think I referred to friends.
You
I
did
said
refer,
family
you
and
did,
friends.
You did refer to perpetrators. I know for a fact, General. You did.
Oh, no. I thought I said family and friends because
You said perpetrators as well in so many words. Who are you referring to? I know for a fact you did. Who are you referring to?
I can't refer to the perpetrators because the perpetrators are those who were arrested. I think it is 4. It's 4 persons who have been charged, and I don't have information that they are related or have ties with General Sibia. I just felt it was easier to say family and friends because it's the family who found him, or might be friends, people who are close to the family. Hence, I wanted today to say, actually, for me, I didn't have 2 versions. I had one version when I said side, which I was meaning to the General Sibia and the faction which is perceived to be there, even though I couldn't put names. But when I was pressed, I said because the persons who complained was the family, I said family and friends.
I'll be surprised if I'm mistaken about your reference to perpetrators, but perhaps we'll revisit that aspect after the tea adjournment.
Chair, just while you are on that, we will display the transcript of yesterday, and you will see there it does say it is the perpetrators, family and friends. That was from yesterday, General.
There it is, General. Do you see it? Look behind you. It is the perpetrators, family and friends. So there it is, you did refer to it. Who were you talking about when you referred to perpetrators?
Yeah, maybe it just come up, but I wanted to say family and friends.
What do you mean come up? You said it, what do you mean?
I agree that as it is indicated, I indicated perpetrators, but as I have explained, I don't have knowledge of the general having knowledge, knowing the perpetrators.
No, it's not about the general. I'm sure you are referring to General Shibiri. It's not about, I'm very sorry, General Sibia. It's not about him. It's about what you said. It is you that referred to perpetrators. What were you talking about? Or who were you talking about?
Yeah, as I'm trying to explain, Commissioner, to say, when I was pressed with to say who is the faction, I end up indicating that family and friends. I wasn't aware I added even the perpetrator because I don't know him to be having the ties. So that is my mistake.
I'll leave it at that, General. And thank you very much for the transcript.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
General, it wasn't just when you were pressed for a name after you said the factions. It wasn't just then when you were pressed for names that you changed your version. It was also because it was put to you that it's implausible that the other side could be the police or the other faction of the police, because why would you be saying General Zabia wants the information for not for NASCOM but for the other side? If the other side is General Zabia's side, you would have then said for his side. That is why you then, it wasn't just because you were asked for names that you changed your version. Do you accept that? That it was both when you were asked for the names and then it was put to you at several times that it was implausible that that in context could have meant the other faction within the police force?
Yes, that is why I'm saying it was when I was pressed. I remember it was Commissioner Baloyi to say, I cannot say there is other side, and then I say is the other faction, and I can't mention, because my response, I remember I said I choose not to mention the names. And then it came from there when the pressure started mounting from there. And that is where I became confused to come up with anything to get out of that, because I didn't want to mention a name of a police whom I will be just speculating through my perception without those people knowing anything to do with anything.
Okay, so let's then understand what your version is of the other side. So it's not the family. It's not Mr. Molefe's family.
No.
It is not the National Commissioner's side. We know that. So is it General Sabia's side?
Yes.
Okay. So I am still going to say to you that it is implausible that in the context you are referring to General Sabia's side, because you would have said his side. And it can't be a third faction, because if there was, you would have disclosed that there's a third faction that you are referencing. But let us just proceed on. You say that this call was a follow-up from a call that you had made to witness A on the 7th of December.
That's correct.
Okay. I understood you to say that you were on leave from the 6th of December.
No, from the 27th of November.
Okay. So your point was that you were on leave even on the day of the operations, which was of the takedown operations, which was the 6th of December.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, if I can just take you to Witness A's statement, because Witness A doesn't recall a call with you on the 7th of December. And if I understood you to say that the 16th December call that you made to Witness A was to follow up on General Sabia's request from you about feedback on the detention status of Mr. Molefe, because the family had no information about where he was detained, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, please go to file 3, file 3, item 83, page 263. In fact, if we can start on 262. Do you have it?
I'm at 262.
Okay. Just before that, at paragraph 88, I just want. Okay, I just want to point out at 88. It says, this is witness A, I left Pretoria Central Police Station to assist the team who were on an active manhunt to find Lucky Molefe. The manhunt continued that entire weekend from Friday evening, 6 December 2024, until the morning of Monday, 9 December 2024, when we had to attend court for Molefe's first appearance. So Mr. Molefe was appearing in court on the 9th of December. You see that? Then at paragraph 89, he says, on 7 December 2024, the day after Molefe's arrest, I received a call from Colonel Mokoena, who asked why I had not reported the arrest of Molefe. Colonel Mokoena initially said that he was making the inquiry because this should be reported as a team success. I was surprised by this because Colonel Mokoena was aware that Brigadier Hopani had instructed us shortly after Tau, Kekana, and Mabusela's first appearance on 19 April 2024 not to report to anyone other than her regarding the murder case. In fact, since April 2024, we had not reported to Colonel Mokoena regarding the murder case. Since then, there have been many significant developments, including Tau's bail release in August 2024 and his rearrest in September 2024 for violating his bail conditions. Colonel Mokoena had not once complained that we had not reported any of these developments to him at the time. Then on the next page, when I reminded Colonel Mokoena that we have not been reporting to him on this matter for the last 7 months, he then changed his stance and said he was only inquiring because he had received a call from General Sabia, who wanted to know why Molefe was not being detained at the police station closest to his residence and why Molefe's family had not been informed of where he was being detained. I told Colonel Mokoena that when we took Molefe from his residence, I informed his family members who were present that we would be taking him to Pretoria Central Police Station, and I also informed his attorney. Colonel Mokoena left it at that. Now, Witness A, and I inquired again with Witness A, he is adamant that he does not recall you calling him on the 7th of December. He only has a record of the call of the 16th of December. And it would seem to me that the 7th, if you did call him on the 7th of December, then your inquiry about where Mr. Molefe is being detained would make sense. But if you're calling on the 16th of December, it's 10 days after his arrest. It's more than a week after, or just a week after his first appearance. The family know where he's been. He's already appeared in court. So it just seems to me, again, that it is implausible that that call on the 16th of December was this inquiry or a follow-up on this inquiry, because by then it should be a done deal. Everybody knows what the position is regarding Mr. Molefe. Do you want to comment?
Yes. As I've indicated also in my statement, maybe he doesn't recall. I was also looking on my itemized billing for the state phone, because that is the only one I'm having where it shows the calls out, not calls received. And then my dilemma is, commissioners, sometimes when people are given my number, they are giving them my private number, which is the one which now a lot of people are sending me messages after I talked about it. So that is the one which, when I went to Vodacom to look for the itemized billing in November 2025, I couldn't be assisted. So I'm not sure with what, but if we request section 205, it will indicate. Indeed, I phoned first Brigadier Nama on the 7th, who is the component head of serious and violent, because I didn't know which unit from the province have made such arrest when I was asked to establish on the 7th where is. Then I end up calling Colonel Mkwena. It's there in my statement. And then he said he will follow up. And Colonel Mkwena didn't even give me this feedback, which it is on the statement of witness A. He gave me the telephone number, which I dialed. And he said he will come back to me sooner. They are busy. They are busy somewhere in the police. I think they were in the police station. And after some few minutes, he phoned. And I said, no, I wanted to inquire about the detention of Mr. Molefe, whom you arrested yesterday. I received a call that the family complained to the DNC that they don't know where he's detained. He said, no, a lot of people phoned about this thing. And they were with his attorney. He said, tell me something, I forgot only the surname. And then I said, for me, it doesn't make sense, because ordinarily, if the attorney will go to inquire, that attorney should have been sent by the family. So it means this thing is unfounded, and then I'll report as such. And then I don't know if I forgot to report or I send a WhatsApp to the DNC or whatsoever. Then but I phoned on the 16th because I received an invitation, and also I knew on the 17th I'm going back to work, and I forgot to ask what was he arrested for. That was the reason why I was phoning on the 16th, not to inquire about his arrest, to inquire about the charges which he was arrested for. So that was my testimony.
But General, by that stage, he had already had his first appearance. So it would be known what he was arrested for. Why would you need to inquire about that? He appeared on the 9th of December. And if indeed you were following up on behalf of General Sabia about something as innocuous as that, it would seem to me, why the reluctance to report back to the other side, being General Sabia himself who's asking you this, who's asking you for the request? Why the reluctance?
I was not reluctant on the 16th. On the 16th, I was supposed to be going there if I was feeling well. And again, I was supposed to give the whole, I remembered I have to give the full feedback. And I forgot that I didn't ask about what was the reason for the arrest. And I'm not aware when is the first appearance and so forth, as I was staying home. So that was the reason why I phoned, to find out what was he arrested for. So not to say the general phoned me asking me about it. I thought he will ask me about it when we meet, because I didn't give him a full report. And on the day which he phoned me on the 6th, that is when I responded, but why don't you ask Kumalo, because Kumalo is the DPC and Mina, I'm sick, I'm home. So, but I end up, on the 7th, I end up phoning anyhow, establishing that, because I felt I couldn't have answered my senior like that. He always phones me, and it shows he trusted me to do the work, and always he tasked me. So it was not that I wanted to know where was he detained, and it was about the charges. And I didn't know when did he appear or whatsoever, because I made sure my patches stays there, and I stay indoors so that I can get healed, and I don't watch TV and read a lot of things for that reason. I could answer phones, yes.
So there wasn't another call from General Sabia asking for information
No.
after you reported back to him after the 7th?
Yeah, I think I sent the message back.
and then you of your own accord called witness A on the 16th because you anticipated that General Sibiya would want more information when you get back to work?
Or if I go that day to use that birthday, I thought it was Thanksgiving. So I thought maybe if I'm going or if I go back to work, either of those days, I will be, you will expect me to give him a full feedback, also to say what, that is normal when you are tasked. You need to give full feedback, not feedback to the person who have tasked you. So I did that on my own account, not to say he phoned me to say, you still owe me.
What doesn't make sense to me is that you are on leave. So there's no expectation that you are making these inquiries because you are not on duty. But this is about someone who was arrested at the beginning of December. It doesn't make sense to me why you would think that General Sibiya has not obtained this information from other people in your absence. You are not the only, in fact, this was not your matter. You are not responsible for this docket, that's one. So somebody else is responsible for the docket. General Sibiya knows that because he's talking to you. He's called you, he knows you're on leave, and he knows that it's not your docket. So it doesn't make sense to me that it's as innocent as, well, when I was concerned that when I go to the farm, he wants me to tell him about this case, when he knows it's not your docket, but also that, well, when I go back to work on the 17th, he will want a full report. You're not someone was acting in your position. What is it about this which makes you think that General Sibiya is going to expect a full report from you about a matter that's not yours and things that happened when you are on leave? To just make it make sense, please.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I promise today I will be short, but this one I will explain longer. Previously or yesterday, I did even indicate that even if you are on leave, meaning myself, I'm on leave, or sometimes you are on sick leave, you become to be tasked. Sometimes you are called from home to go and attend to something. I even gave example of the 16th and 17th of September 2024, which I was on leave. I had to go to Kimberley to do the shortlisting. The general knew I was on sick leave, and he chose to phone me, not informing the one who's acting, to inquire about these things on the 7th. That is number one. And that is what I inquired from Mukwena and Nama, who can come and also confirm that, and the telephones will show that. So I took it upon myself. It is for us when we are tasked. And I even indicated that even things which doesn't want me, as I'm the head of organized crime, I will be tasked with things which there are components ahead, not been tasked by the DIFCOM or the Deputy National Commissioner. I felt that because I was tasked, and when I remembered, after he called me to say for the invitation and so forth, if I'm able to come, and also I was going back to work, it's a norm that you give full report. And I thought when we meet, he might ask me. I didn't think about that. Maybe he might have asked somebody and so forth. Remember, Commissioner, my response to him the first time when he phones me, I said, why, if his agent not phone General Khumalo? And I felt bad about that I responded maybe wrongfully to my senior. So it was for that reason, not any other motive.
You had an acting person in your position. Why didn't you ask that person? I mean, that person is on duty. They are doing what you're supposed to do. If you were concerned properly to get a report about this, why did you not task the acting or ask the acting to get this information and to give you the report or to give it to General Sibia? It just doesn't make sense that you are on sick leave. It's not your docket. And I've heard the explanation about even when you are on leave and even when it's not your matter. This is different. This man was arrested at the beginning of December. You are on sick leave. There's obviously been developments in the matter, unless you are telling us that you didn't think there had been any developments. That's why you had to speak to the investigating officer. But I still want to suggest to you that you had someone acting. You have to explain why it is you did not put this to the desk of the acting person to get the answers that General Sibia required of you, and to have that person reporting to General Sibia. It just doesn't make sense.
Yes, I hear the commissioner, it doesn't make sense, but that is the practice which I'm used to say when I'm tasked, I do it like that. Even if I can ask the person who is acting, I expect them to come back to me and report back to the person who have asked me. Because I don't know, it's how I feel, because the person knows, and they are the ones who is signing off the acting person. But they know you are not on duty, but they still task you. So I take it upon myself that always I report back if I'm sent. I make sure that I go and report back. So I don't, even if I can task somebody to say, find out it for me, I expect the person to report back to me, and then I report back to the senior person who have tasked me.
The other anomaly about your version is that you say to us that you told General Sibia to speak to General Khumalo and get a report. That's the last thing that happened. And then the next thing that happens is you are now calling. So even this, I was tasked. Yes, maybe you were tasked on the 7th, but you did give him a response. You said to him, get a report elsewhere. You don't, and then you then on the 17th or 16th start making these inquiries without yourself speaking to Khumalo to check, did you give Sibia a response? So you create this vacuum. You're on leave, things are in a vacuum. Nobody's dealing with this matter and nobody's giving reports to General Sibia, and then it waits for you to come back from leave to make these inquiries and then give him a report. It still does not make sense. It doesn't add up, what you're saying.
Commissioner, the inquiry was not done on the 16th. It was done on the 7th. On the 16th, it was a follow-up.
Yes, I'm talking about the follow-up.
Yes. And I done the follow-up because I did inquire on the 7th, and I forgot to ask about the reason for detention. And I believe I also forwarded a WhatsApp to the general to indicate that the person, the family seems to be knowing where the attorney was there. And then I didn't indicate further to say what was he arrested and so forth. Then I felt I must get full report in order to report promptly if I'm asked or when we meet, because I know he doesn't forget. When he tasks you, you will say, when are you owing me something? You didn't tell me whatsoever. And sometimes it can be after months and so forth. So the inquiry was done the first day. The first day which I responded to say, ask Khumalo, and corrected myself to say, I could not have responded like that.
Thank you, General.
Can I, sorry to do this? You see, General, what you are saying now does not make sense, because now you are saying upon making the first inquiry, you were satisfied that the attorney was there and the family was there. That's the 7th, right?
Yes, that's correct.
You are satisfied that the family knows because the attorney knows. So on the 16th, when you make the call and you say Sibia wants the information for the other side, it can be the family. Because on the 7th already, the family and the attorney know. So on the 16th, when you say he wants it for the other side, it can't be the family.
Yeah. I don't understand it as I said he wants it for the,
He wants the information for the other side.
yeah, I don't understand it as I said, that was the conversation which I came with that preposition to say, I know maybe he doesn't want this information for the National Commissioner, even when he asked for the first time, maybe he wanted it for the other side. So it's not to say that day he phoned me and said he want information for the other side. So we were talking something which already happened. And it was a preposition. Remember, we had a long discussion about ourselves and also further sharing information which I had. And then we were talking as colleagues, not to say, but the reason for the phone was to establish the reason for the arrest. But we talked a lot of things and also shared more information, which I thought it can assist in the investigation. Yeah. So that was just a preposition from me that even though I think I will be asked, I don't think maybe the information is needed to give to the National Commissioner is for the other side. So it's not to say he phoned and said you want information that day.
But why were you so conflicted? I mean, if General Sibia wants the information for himself and other generals at SAPS, or he wants it for the family, why did that bother you so much? Because you seemed bothered by this thing. Even the tone in your call, you seemed bothered, you seemed conflicted and worried. Why would you be bothered that the family wants to know why he's arrested? Or General Sibia and generals within his faction want to know why he's arrested? They are generals at SAPS. Why were you so bothered by that?
No, in our discussion, what was bothering me, which we discussed, is this thing that we do in our work and people threatens us when we do our work. I think if we can go in the whole, you will see that was the only thing which we were discussing to say, hey, people, they do things, but they know they will be arrested, but they don't want to be arrested. But this one, it was only in that sentence where we were talking to say, after I said the reason why I phoned, it was I wanted to know why the charges against the person, so that when we meet, I can be able to give a full report. But yeah, for me to have that perspective to say, I know it's not the National Commissioner maybe needing this. He might be knowing for his own information and his own faction. So it's me who said that. It's me who said that, but I was not bothered by that. The family asked. So that one came when he was saying, even that day, Colonel Mukwena, that was the first time he mentioned Colonel Mukwena, because on the 7th he mentioned a lot of senior officers were inquiring about this thing. And then he said Colonel Mukwena and Brigadier Hopan were promptly explained that the family was explained where the person was, and the lawyer was explained where the person was, and there was nothing wrong. That is when my response was, say, hey, these people are full of drama. And then I have learned, or I have information that this person was partners with the late Mswazi and other people. They were business partners and so forth. That is when I shared that information with him further. So not to say I was bothered by the general or whatsoever. I wanted full information so that when I explain, or if I'm asked, I explain in full. I'm a person who wants to explain in full or have full report if I'm tasked about something.
General, did you know that when you, on the 16th of December, did you know that Mr. Molefe had his first appearance already in court? when you called witness A?
No, it didn't come to my mind, but supposedly he's supposed to have appeared, because if you are arrested by the 6th, in terms of our law, within 48 hours, you need to be released or appear. And I think the 16th was on a holiday.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but nowhere in this call does he tell you that Mr. Molefe had his first appearance already? And neither do you inquire what happened at the first appearance of Mr. Molefe?
No, that was not what was in my mind. I was tasked to find out where he is. I forgot to ask what was he arrested for.
No, but General, now we're on the 16th. You're calling to find out what he was arrested for. And in your statement, you say reason for the arrest. By reason for the arrest, do you just mean what the charge is?
Yes.
So if it was just about the charge, would you not have said this guy would have appeared on the 9th? You are a police officer, you know. By the time you speak to him on the 16th, there would have been a first appearance already. Correct?
Correct.
So isn't that the first question you ask him? If your reason is to find out about the charge, for why he's being charged, as you say, isn't that one of the first questions that you say? When did he appear and what was it about? If it's a follow-up.
Yeah, the reason wants logic, but I phoned for what I was thinking about that time, being to find out what I forgot to ask, what is he arrested for?
Yes, but if it is what was he arrested for, by then you know that he has already had a first appearance, so you would have said to him, so this guy appeared already, what was the charge? You don't ask that.
That was non-issue.
Okay. So when you say reasons, it's just the charge.
Yeah, I forgot to ask that. The person
Okay.
is arrested for, and that was in my mind at that time.
So why do you then say he wants this information for the other side? He wants to know from the other side what Molefe has been arrested for, what is his charge?
I think I already explained, even though I was struggling explaining to the commissioner, to say, I was saying he wanted for himself and the people who are close to him on his side. So that was my explanation.
Okay. So if we are to then confine it to just being the charge, and I think we all understand that transcript, including witness A, as there being a reluctance on your part to share this information with General Shibiri. You don't want to report this information. It seems implausible that you don't want to report an information about he's been charged for the murder of Aman Swart. There's nothing sinister about that. You shouldn't be reluctant about that, correct? To just report back. I forgot to tell you that he's been charged for the murder of Aman Swart, if that was the purpose of the call.
His response was, he was given instruction. He said they were given instruction that they mustn't talk about this case with any person. And
Yeah.
then any person who want to inquire further about this matter, it must be inquired to General Khumalo, and I have seen also he indicated also Colonel Mukwena and Brigadier Hopane. Yes.
But if you go to the transcript, page 67 of the call, which is in file 4, CJC 97. Do you have it?
Yeah, I'm at 97, but no, I don't know which
No,
page.
CJC 97, it's page 67.
I'm there.
Page 67.
Yes.
And then you see after the line 10, just before line 20, the line just before line 20, it says investigating officer, yes. Then you say, he's looking for it for this other side. And then you say, so what can we say? It is how we live. But as long as we are safe, you see. This suggests that you feel like you don't have a choice. This is how we live. These are the things that we must do now. You don't want to do it, but this is how we live. But at least we're safe. That is how one interprets it. You are reluctant, but you feel that you have no choice because you are in a situation where this is just how my life is now.
Yes. You see, you are off sick, you are phoned for such a thing which anybody can provide. As I indicated, even the Commissioner Baloy indicated, somebody is active, there is a provincial head and provincial and DPC. But you are phoned for specifically yourself, you wonder why. And then that is how you live. As long as you are safe, you are living, and then you are doing your work, is fine.
And you see, General, if you go to page 68, it continues. We, reading this, not even being part of the conversation, can sense your reluctance. It is palpable from the pages that you are reluctant to report to General Sibiya. If we take it that this is a genuine call to witness A, and that you are being forced to make this call to witness A to get information that you don't want to get. And that's the premise that I'm approaching you on. There is, of course, another basis, that this is a deliberate call made and it's orchestrated to get information out of witness A. But for present purposes, I want to suggest to you that if we look at this, it sounds that you are reluctant to give this information, you feel forced to give it. And that's the lens that I'm going to question you on this now. If you look at the next page, you speak about Joe, and then you say, but I asked myself that, okay. So I said no.
Which
This
line?
is the first line 1, Chair, and then I'm reading from line 3, But I asked myself that, okay, so I said, no, General, give me time. I will give feedback later, or else if you are in a hurry, you can phone Kumalo to send you the report. Myself, no. Again, it seems like if you don't like the terms on which you are being asked to give this information. So it cannot just be about the charge. And I think when you prepared your statement by saying reason, you could have simply said charge, but you were being asked to get more than just the charge. You were asked to get information, General, that even despite everything that we have dealt with over the past couple of days with you, there was a line you were not willing to cross. This is what it suggests here. Even you were not willing to cross this line that General Sibiya wanted you to cross, and you were reluctant to do it. And I cannot understand why you are now so hell-bent on not saying that. Saying that I didn't want to give any information that would compromise the investigation or the safety of the officers. Why can't you just say that? Because it is clear from the transcript and the recording that if this call was a genuine call to witness A, that is the situation you found yourself in. You didn't want to cross the line.
Yeah. As I have already explained here, if you go to the whole paragraph, I even indicate, because I said we were discussing more things relating to what I thought what was happening and what is been happening. And if you see where I started, it is like I was thinking about all these things is all about taxi violence. Now it goes out to killing innocent people. And I also talked about the issues which were giving me problem on my component being extortions done by who and who. And also going back to the same day where I said not now because I was not feeling well, why don't you phone Kumalo? So I don't know if ever this thing is intertwined in terms of how it is being extracted here or translated here. But it goes back to the same thing when we started, when I said, why don't you phone this and whatsoever. But going further here, we're discussing a lot of things, and I thought because these people were involved in this. The only violence happening is amongst taxis. And I see now they are venturing also into extortion and so forth. So you can see this was casual talk between two colleagues, and I couldn't dream that he could even record me for that matter, because always when we speak cordially. It's either he's asking me how I am, I'm asking how are they still safe, and then encouraging them and so forth. So what you are thinking or taking out of this is not what I meant.
General, if it's not that, then it's that you were on the other side of the line and you were getting information from witness A. You made this call not to find out about the charge, because Mr. Molefe had been arrested on the 6th of December. He appeared on the 9th of December. It's now the 16th of December. Colonel Mokoena called. She was given a direct answer from witness A not to share information with anyone else. And if you were on the other side, if you were on General Sibiya's side, and this is an orchestrated call, then that version also makes sense, because you are now trying to get information from witness A that nobody else could get, and you were luring him by telling him about your 2013 and 2016 experience and trying to suggest to him that you're on his side. It's one of the two, General.
Yeah, it's very much surprising that you think that way. You, advocate, you just said the accused has appeared in court already on the 16th, after 10 days. So obviously, if I was looking information for the family, obviously the family was at court. Or the lawyers were there, the friends was there. So what information will assist the family about knowing what is the charge?
Not the family, General, the other side, General Sibiya's side, and the information that they wanted was the evidence against Mr. Molefe. That is what they wanted. That is the reason for the arrest. It's not the charge, it is the reason for the arrest. You wanted to know what evidence they have.
That was not the question. The question to witness A was, what was he arrested for? Not to explain what did he do or the incident. So it's not what was asked. What was asked was, what was he arrested for?
In your statement, you say reason for the arrest. So reason can be more than just the charge. It can include, as an investigating officer, what evidence is there? And you are trying to lure that evidence out of him. You're trying to get it out of him by playing on the fact that you've had an experience about safety. You're telling him, you're appearing to be reluctant to give this information. It can only be one of two. It's a genuine call and you are genuinely reluctant, and that is why you're giving him this information, or you're giving him the information because you're trying to get information for General Sibiya's side, which is the side that you are also on. There's no innocuous interpretation of this call, General.
You see, I explained what I wanted to ask. And now I've been explained English. We use books in the SAPS. It will say SAP 14, for example. It will say, reason for arrest. You write murder, rape, or whatever. So my English and your English will never be the same. So you will stretch it further according to your knowledge. If Shiviru's knowledge ends here, so it doesn't mean my capacity is like yours. So I responded, Commissioner, what I was inquiring about.
Well, if all you wanted and you understood that's all you needed to report to General Sibiya, that he's arrested because on a charge of murder, or the charge is murder, why would you say, and I want to read at page 68, this is a part that I read yesterday in isiZulu, but I'm going to read it in English. You say, so, but now I saw that I responded, it starts at line 8, responded to him in a bad way, you see. I said, yes, I'm also here because of this issue. So let me come back a little bit, because some other things also make me angry, you see. If all that there was that you needed to report to General Sibia, and that's all you were asking witness A to tell you what is the charge, what you call the reason for arrest, what would make you angry if that's all that General Sibia wanted to know and that's all that you needed to report to him? And what about it, that reason for arrest, would cause you concern that he wants this information for the other side? It's what the docket says on its face. It's murder. Why don't you want to tell General Sibia? You do explain, I didn't go at the farm. I know he would ask me. He's invited me so that he can ask me about this. If all he wanted was that reason for arrest, why is that a concern that when you go to the farm, he would ask you about it? Two, why would he want that? Why would it concern you that he wants it for the other side? Whatever side you have decided now, you've defined as the other side. Why would that be a concern? And three, what about that would make you angry? So I've put 3 things to you that suggest. In fact, maybe let me leave it at this point now. Why would you have difficulty with that you're going to have to tell him, yes, he's been arrested for murder? If that's all that you wanted to know from witness A and that's all you needed to report to General Sibia.
I will try to follow. The question sometimes is long and then and I miss some on along the way. I have indicated that I forgot to ask what was the person arrested for. And that was the reason why I phoned, so that I can be able to explain in full. And secondly, even the day before, when I started here testifying, that I had a serious challenge in my workplace, that everything is pumped to me, even including things which doesn't need my components. I indicated there were 5 components. I even gave example of serious and violent happening in Dissects and Port St. John's, which I was thinking it falls under General Mtsipe, will go the CIT, which is dealt by DPCI, then I will be sent there. I didn't worry about the Eastern Tebeja because gang violence is within my sphere, and extortions and so forth. So that is what I was always pestering me, complaining about always. So that I'll be tasked unnecessary things and so forth. So to say the other side, I've already explained to say his side or to discuss with the people who are in his side, because as it was indicated, and also he testified here. He was not in the. He's not in the side of the National Commissioner. There are people whom he believe they are fighting, and it is clear for everybody to see what was happening. So, without getting deeper to things which, again, I will be putting myself into questions which I cannot respond to. I think I can end it there. That was the reason. And the murder, it is there on the docket, but I never saw the docket. And hence I asked. And I didn't see any danger in asking, because I usually ask them and phone them on daily basis, and not specifically him, all the investigators, if I'm tasked to.
No, General, and maybe it's my fault for how I asked the question. You complained that it is long, and that's a fair comment to make. Let me repeat what I'm putting to you. you say in what I've read, it concludes by saying some other things also make me angry. That is in the telephone call. But the other thing that you said in the telephone call is that you know he's invited you to the farm because he wants to ask you about this case. He wants information. That's what you say on the call. And then the third thing, relevant thing that you say on the call is you know he wants that information for the other side. So those are the three things you've said. Now, in your exchange with Ms. Sigal-Ncube, you say all you wanted or all you asked witness A was the reason for the arrest. And the reason for the arrest is murder. That's all you wanted to know. So that's what you've just said, and I've put to you what you've said in the transcript, which I say is relevant. Now, this is my question now. Maybe if you would then focus on my question. My question is, why would you not want him to ask you for the reason which is simply murder? What's your concern? That I don't go, and I know at the farm he wants to ask me about this matter. And if the answer is, well, he's arrested for murder, why is that an issue? And one, at the farm. Two, why is that an issue if he's going to share that with the other side, that the man has been arrested for murder? What is your concern about that? And if all you wanted to get from witness A and to share with General Sibiya is murder, why would that make you angry to tell him that you are having to tell him that kind of information? It's that which, again, I say, it just doesn't add up. Your explanation of what this telephone call was all about, it's implausible. If all you needed to convey to General Sibiya is that he's arrested for murder, then it doesn't make sense that you have these concerns that you've recorded here.
Yeah, it is becoming more difficult and more difficult for me to respond for this thing because I respond one thing forever. Here it says, so, but now I saw that I responded to him badly, in a bad way, you see. I said, yes, I'm also here because of the issues. So let me come back a little bit, because some things also make me angry, you see. I was referring on the top one, it is where I'm saying, if you were in a hurry, why don't you ask General, if it is imminent, why don't you ask General Khumalo? So it's a follow-up from that one. That small things like this, then I'm phoned, and then I ended up answering otherwise. And I understand, okay, it's my issue, I'm there, I work there. I voluntarily took the post and applied for the post and wanted to go to work at head office. So I caution myself to say, no, let me, but even though sometimes it makes me angry to say I'm off sick, I'm phoned for a small thing which I think, as the commissioners indicated, the team could have dealt with, or a simple phone call to General Khumalo could have made matters lesser, or to Brigadier Hopani. But I have two on my bed with close eye, go and check the phone people, ask those things. Those are the things which is annoying. And to say for the other side, meaning for their own benefit, not even for his own benefit, or to discuss on his own side with his own people, meaning at the police. So that is what I tried to explain, I think, for the past 30 minutes.
Thank you.
General, I'm going to cut to the chase because I want, for my part at least, I know Advocate Ncube still wants to ask you questions about this. This is what you do on page 67 and 68, unprompted by witness A. Because if you were just asking what is the person arrested for, that's all you would ask, and you would talk about your health and general chit-chat. Unprompted by witness A, you tell witness A about this group of 5 business people, and I say business people in inverted commas or open close brackets, and then you say to him, there is this Zay who's involved in the taxi business, again unprompted. And then now you go to General Sibiya and you say, you see, this person is close to General Sibiya and General Sibiya is close to Julius Malema. And then this is the important part on page 67, line 15. You say, so I know even when he says I must come, meaning when General Sibiya says, you must come to my party, he wants to ask me, yes, I have sent you, so now what is happening whatsoever? So that himself, and I know that he's looking for it. He's not looking for it to take it to NESCOM. Witness A says yes, and then you say he's looking for it for the other side. So what can we say? This is how we live as long as we are safe. Witness A says yes. Then you go back to this group of business people. So you don't talk about family. You don't talk about another faction in SEPS. You say, so Mina, I was thinking that maybe it links to the taxes. That's General Sibiya's request. That's what you are linking here, correct? When you say it links to the taxes, correct?
No.
And then you say, but I said no. But this in the taxis, and then you continue, they got out. The person who is left there and causing problems is Joe. Plus in those extortions, he is there. These boys of his, Bafanas and what. But I asked myself that, okay, so I said, no, General, give me time. So you see how you linking General Sibiya with all these things, unrelated to the request. You say link to the taxis, but I said no, General. But I asked myself, okay, I said no, General, give me time. I will give you feedback later. Or else if you are in a hurry, you can phone Kumalo to send you this report. Myself, no. So that was your discomfort, because although you're talking about a request General Sibiya made to you, you unprompted mentioned this group of 5 business people to witness A. You mentioned Zay. You mentioned Mr. Julius Malema. You then go to the issue of taxes and extortions, and you link all of that with General Sibiya, and you say, you know, if he's in a hurry, you don't want to be part of it, he must phone Kumalo to send him the report. And apparently this is where you left it. That's why you felt bad and you needed to make follow-ups. To me, reading this, it suggests that your discomfort was exactly that. The link with all these people and your concern, which you were expressing to witness A, that General Sibiya requires this information for these people that you mentioned in page 66, 67, and 68. That's how I read this transcript and the audio clip that we listened to. Because nowhere in 66, 67, 68 do you say, hey, you know, I'm concerned about the factions in the SEPS. He's looking for this information for this faction. I don't like this factionalism. It makes me uncomfortable. The only people you are referring to in those 3 pages are this group of business people. And I use that term business people loosely. And that bothers you because you even say it's linked to extortion, it's linked to the taxes, it's linked to these people. I asked myself, so I said, General, give me time, I will give you feedback, or else if you are in a hurry, get it from Kumalo. That's how it looks to me. If I'm wrong, you'll say you are wrong. It has nothing to do with that. But it won't make sense why, when you are discussing invitation to a party, you would then mention all these people. Because they have nothing to do with the invitation to the party or the request that you get this information. Do you follow me?
Although it's too very long.
Yes, I know it's
follow-
long because I had
yes,
to paint that
I
full
follow,
picture.
I follow.
I can break it down if you need to, but if you followed,
Sure.
you can just give your comment.
Yeah, I thought it was a conclusion of the commissioner concluding the whole thing.
I'm saying, looking at the 3 pages together,
Yeah.
that's what it looks like to me. It looks like you were linking General Sibia's request with his association with all these people.
Yeah.
Is that not what it looks like reading the transcript?
I already said no. I already said no, and I plead that my explanation also be listened. It might not make sense to oneself, but this is what I'm explaining. It was a discussion between 2 colleagues, and it was not a meeting which was structured. And I said a lot of things. Number one, I shared the information to the member because I knew I said this yesterday, he was at the safe house, and now they have a team that they are more mobilized to deal with this thing. I indicated to say I got information now that this person you arrested was belonging to these people, and they were business partners. They were how many? And I thought it was only along the taxi, and I hear there is also mining business involved. Then I said, I further talked about what is currently happening, saying I thought after the passing of the old man, then now Joe took over. It's only that. Also, I see his voice. That is why I was not feeling comfortable in talking to this one. Yeah, I indicated because I know, Lord, I might know that you can think this one belongs to this faction, and found only to find it belongs to all the factions, and they are together. So, yeah, that is why I indicated. It was indicated to me to say it's me, and you warned me to say what you do. You don't want to be out. You are making it out. I was talking exactly to that. But here the discussion was between 2 colleagues, which was casual. We talked about a lot of things, even though the call was about one thing. It's not all this linked to General Sibia. What is linked to General Sibia is one thing, that I needed to give him a feedback, and that he tasked me and I answered him in a wrong way, which I felt it was bad. And now he invited me, and I'm not going because of ill health. But when I go back to work, because soon I'm going, I will still need to give feedback. So, yeah. What makes sense to any person who is reading the whole thing, it is different from what was happening. And I plead that I be understood to what I'm saying. I'm not saying you mustn't deduct what you need to deduct and make up what you need to make up. But what I'm testifying or saying is what happened, and that was my intention solely.
Thank you, General. General, I think I'll move on to the next topic in the conversation. You will recall that...
Maybe before you do that, Mr. Gus, just to complete this so that we don't come back to it. General, still in that transcript, if you look at page 4 of 12, at page 66, I don't think this clarification was requested of you yesterday. So you have right at the bottom, that's you speaking there. This is after you say they're a group, they are 5, they're a group of, you see where I'm reading? And then right at the bottom, you've got the very last line, you've got you speaking, and then you say Swazi, and then there's a name there that was skipped yesterday. For the reasons that you have provided, and then you say, and others you see. And then and this is the part where I would like to get clarification. the investigating officer, witness A, says yes, because even to me, he said that he has interest in mining. And then you answer, you say, yes, yes, somewhere in Rustenburg and Brits. Who are you, the two of you, discussing here? Because it's not clear to, is it Mr. Molefe who's got mining interests in Rustenburg and Brits, or is it somebody else? It's not clear from the transcript.
Yeah, as I just indicated now, to say, we further discussed to say the arrested person, being Mr. Molefe, was business partners with these people I'm mentioning, and they have mining interest. And that was information which I got, and also somewhere in Brett and whatsoever. So we were discussing that. Hence I said we also shared information further other than that of what recently I have collected. So that he might be on the know, because if they continue with the investigation, they will be having further names to look at and working on.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Commissioner. General, you will recall that one of the topics that witness A said you discussed with him was about a senior official that is at district level that's trying to interfere in a investigation at provincial level. Do you recall that?
That's correct.
And I said to you that according to witness A, he understood that to be Brigadier Nkwashu.
That's correct.
Okay, and you denied that, do you recall?
Yes.
Okay. Do you still deny that you were talking about, that you were referencing Brigadier Nkwashu?
Yes, I still deny.
Okay. Can I ask you to go again to witness A's statement so that we can deal with your denial? It is file 3, item 83, page 264.
Transcript. But I want the transcript. I'm there.
Okay, paragraph 96. Do you have it?
Yes.
General Shabiri also said that this is witness A's statement, that we must be very careful because the people we are dealing with are heartless and they will never allow us to relax. He mentioned that there was a senior officer that he refers to as homeboy that is not even an official in the province, but this person seems to have an interest in the Swart murder case. He did not mention the name, but he said that the person's actions annoyed him. I must put General Shabiri's comment about province in context. By province, General Shabiri was not referring to province geographically. He was referring to it in terms of levels. For example, you would have a district head and a provincial head. In other words, General Shabiri was saying that this person is not even at provincial level, and I understood this to mean that the person he was referring to is at district level. I think he was referring to Brigadier Nkwashu, who was at district level but was inquiring about a case being investigated at provincial level. You see that? Now, if you go to file 4, to the transcript of the call, and it is CJC 97, page 70,
I'm there.
and if you go to, and then for the Zulu transcript, it will be page 82 of that file. But page 70 of the English one, you say, after line 10, so line 12, yes, you do not relax because last time, it is just that I do not like things, you see. So when I am here, do not follow up things. I heard police they are not even working at province or whatsoever, then indicating that no, I am the one who is stopping the bails, I am doing this and that. I said my job is to oppose bail, but I do not carry dockets, so I do not know those people tell me that whatsoever. And those people, they are not even working at province. The matter is investigated at province. They are working at the district. What is happening? You see, but no, the person that you trust and you say, no, this one, we are from the homelands together, then they will turn on you for a small thing. You see that?
Yes.
Who were you referring to here? What were you referring to and who were you referring to?
I was referring to information I received from members that there are people who were speaking at the district indicating that I'm the one who is blocking the bail.
Yes, you are the one that's opposing the bail.
Yes.
And you are the one that's opposing the bail of the suspects in the Aman Swart murder.
Yes.
And why is this a problem for these officers that you are opposing bail?
I don't know, but information was they were talking about it to say, I'm the problem. I'm the one who is opposing, who's blocking the bail to happen.
In other words, this person thinks that opposing the police opposing bail is a problem for the suspects.
No, I'm the problem. I'm the one who's making that the bail is not is not successful.
Yes, you are the police officer who's doing the right thing. You are opposing bail of the Aman Swart murderers, the suspects in the Aman Swart murder, correct?
Yes.
That is what you are they are saying that you are the problem because you're doing that.
Yes.
And these are officers that are saying this.
No, the members told me, not officers.
The members are saying you are a problem to who? Who's complaining about you?
They were talking to say, they were told, they had people talking to say, I'm the one who's blocking the bail, I'm the problem.
Yes. So who are they saying told them that you are the problem?
You mean the members who told me?
No. The members who told you, who did they say is you are their problem? Whose problem are you? You're not the members' problem because the members are telling you something. So whose problem are you for opposing bail?
They said they were in Johannesburg district and then they had people talking. And I didn't ask who, or they didn't tell me who is these people saying I'm the one. They said there's a talk out there which indicates you are the one who is a problem blocking the bail for this and that and that. I said, they are talking nonsense. I'm not even investigating the docket.
Okay, and when you say the person and you say we are from the homelands together, who is that person that you're referring to there?
So people who were telling me I'm from Limpopo. Obviously, the investigators who were telling me they are from Limpopo. So I'm thinking the people who were also talking with them, they might be people from Limpopo too. So you can't trust anybody. You'll say, this one I'm used to. And then it will be the people who are talking behind you or plotting things behind you.
Okay.
Are you saying you were told that someone from Limpopo says you are the one that's blocking bail?
No, the group of the people who were telling me are from Limpopo.
Yes.
And then I took it that they were talking to people from Limpopo, those who were talking there when they were in a meeting somewhere at the district. And then saying I'm the problem, not blocking the bail on this particular matter. It is said, it is me who's blocking the bail, although I'm not investigating the case. And the case is not even investigated at the head office.
Yeah. I think it might be helpful if we look at the conversation itself, not the translation, because it gives a better sense of what it is that you said to the investigating officer. And I'm going to try again in isiZulu. At page 82, line 1, 2, 3, 4. If you get to line 4, page 82, line 4, line 14, sorry, line 14. This is you speaking, Major General Shibiri, and then you look at line 4 of that. It says, Ngizwa amaphoyisa. They are not even working at province or whatsoever. Then indicating ukuthi, no, yimi engivimba ama-bail, ngiyenzani. And then you're saying it, umsebenzi wami opposa i-bail, but mina, I do not carry dockets, and the rest of it. So, in the conversation itself, you say, it's the police who say you oppose bail. In that, saying ngizwa amaphoyisa, they are not even working at province or whatever. Then indicating ukuthi no yimi engivimba ama-bail. So the police say you oppose bail. That's the first part. So certainly in this conversation here, you are not saying they have been told by other people. Maphoyisa tell me that other people say. You say the police say I'm the one that oppose bail. That's the first thing. And then the second part, which is that last paragraph, you say, uyabona, but hayi umuntu umthembile uthi no, this one sibuya sonke ekhaya. Then uzokujikela la for a small thing. So you say, here's someone that I trust. You trust somebody because you say we come from the same place, we come from home together, and then you get here, they turn on you. So you're referring to very specific people who have said you're the one that blocks bail, one, and then two, it's people or a person that you come from home with, who's now turning on you on small things. That's what you have said here. And what you're explaining now is not quite accurate. It's not an accurate reflection of the conversation itself.
Yeah. What I'm explaining is I'm told by police to say, there are police who are saying, I'm the one who is blocking the bail, opposing the bail. And you cannot trust people. Because even people whom you come with from home or from the same province or whatsoever, whom you can trust, they can turn around and say things about you.
Thank you, General.
General, before I go to the exhibits to deal with Brigadier Nkwashu, I just want to read to you from the record, and we'll put it up on display, what you said in your evidence in chief when you were referring to Brigadier Nkwashu. Just bear that in mind when we address this issue. It's on the screen. I was asking you about him, and then Commissioner Kumalo also followed up on the question. So if we can just go one up, yes. Where it says, and for that matter, do you see there on the screen? And for that matter, he comes from Zanin, I am from Zanin. Even though he is coming from a different direction area, he's coming from Juliusburg. I think you meant, what is it? Oh, this is different, sorry, Burgersdal. And then you say, on the next page, should we read the next one? You say, yes, he worked in Tshwane as acting district commissioner, and then he was transferred to the VAL. That is when he became acting until they promote a district commissioner, though he became a deputy. And I think he built a house. He stays that side because he was staying in Roodepoort. So we were in the West Rand, all of us. So we meet occasionally weekends as friends to drink, not work related or whatsoever. So in terms of reporting, it was reporting to the district commissioner. So that is how you referred to Brigadier Nkwashu. Now, if we can go to file 3, item 84, page 301. It's witness B's statement. Do you have it?
Yes.
Page 301, paragraph 75. The bail for Mr. Tau on new facts was eventually set down to be heard on 1 August 2024. It is worth noting that there were several concerning events around this bail application. Our unit usually has a meeting on Tuesdays to receive update. On Tuesday, 30 July 2024, when attending such meeting, Sergeant Chukuru approached me to ask about the Vereniging murder investigation. In particular, he informed me that Brigadier Nkwashu, the Deputy District Commissioner Sidibeng, currently acting District Commissioner, had asked him to ask me not to oppose the bail application of Mr. Tau. I informed him that this is not a new bail application, but a further application on new facts, and we had already opposed the bail. The discussion was strange, and I found it inappropriate. You see that?
Yes.
And then at 75.4, shortly after the bail, Sergeant Chukuru requested that we meet. We met at Mall of the South. He told me that he was sent by Brigadier Nkwashu to thank me. I asked him what I was being thanked for. In response, he claimed not to know, but said he was asked to convey the message of appreciation. I told him that his previous request was that I not oppose the bail, and that I could not agree to that request. Further, that Mr. Tau was granted bail not because of anything I did, and he knows that, and so I don't know why he is approaching me like this. And then if we can go to item and paragraph 96, I think. You can just go there for completeness.
76.
96, paragraph 96 on 309. Let me just confirm. Sorry, it's item 85, my apologies, page 346. Do you have it?
Yes.
Paragraph 55. Upon questioning him about these items, this is a witness C statement, sorry. Mr. Molefe informed us that Brigadier Nkwashu had visited him in prison and brought him the polo tracksuits. I found it startling that a senior SAPS official who had no active involvement in the murder investigation would visit an accused of a serious crime at a prison facility. We took steps to determine the facts surrounding this. Next page. 56, our inquiries revealed that Brigadier Nkwashu had attended at the prison facility on 9 December 2024 and introduced himself as the brother-in-law of Mr. Molefe. The Brigadier allegedly informed the prison officials that the accused, Mr. Molefe, was arrested at the airport and was therefore not in possession of any clothes or food. He therefore wanted to see the suspect. The prison officials further advised that Brigadier Nkwashu had arrived at the facility after visiting hours, driving a white BMW SUV that had no number plate. This was alarming to them because if Brigadier Nkwashu attended in his official capacity, they questioned the removal of the vehicle registration plates. And then at paragraph 10, on 10 December 2024, the head of Groenpunt facility, Mr. Nkoli, went into the accused cell to ask him if he was related to Brigadier Nkwashu. Mr. Molefe said that he was not related to Brigadier Nkwashu. You see that? Now, when you go back to the transcript of the conversation between you and witness A at page 70 of file 4, here, now that we have that in our minds, do you see why witness A thought that you were talking about Brigadier Nkwashu as being the person that was trying to get you to stop bail, that was trying to stop, that was trying to interfere in the investigation, the SWAT murder investigation, the district officer trying to interfere in a provincial investigation, who is your homeboy?
Yeah, when I submitted my statement, witness A already has submitted a statement. And what is in my statement, which you depicted there, I was responding to the question from the commission regarding our relationship with Brigadier Nkwashu, specifically. And what happened what mentioned in the statement, Brigadier Nkwashu sending Chukudu and to speak to the investigators regarding the bail, I think it happened before December. And we are talking in December, where I'm saying some members at the district informed me that there was a talk about me that I'm the one who is blocking the bail. And that time, already he thanked the people for arranging bail as he requested and so forth. So, and I indicated, those members didn't even want to tell me who is the person. And the district in Gauteng, there are 6, if I'm not mistaken. And there are a lot of people coming from my homeland and others not far from where I'm staying, working there. And there's nowhere where I'm saying here in the transcript that is a district officer. I'm saying people working from the district and then having interest in cases which are not even investigated by them. So again, I'm not referring to Brigadier Nkwashu because even today, I don't know who exactly is those people. But I know the people who were talking to me, they are from Limpopo. I'm coming with them, and they are the one who told me that some people were saying that.
So you're saying that this didn't relate to Brigadier Nkwashu, it was just information that you had received?
Yeah, it might be. It
Okay.
might be, but they didn't indicate to me it's Brigadier Nkwashu.
Okay, they didn't indicate to you that it was Brigadier Nkwashu when you had the conversation, that's what you're saying. But it's possible that they were referring to Brigadier Nkwashu when they were giving you the information.
I said it might be possible. But I'm not saying they were referring, they didn't say they were referring to you. So I agree with you, it might be possible based on the analogy here. But I also indicated that it was in December when we were talking, and I'm not sure the request for bail and when the bail happened was which month.
But I read it out to you from witness A. It related to Tao's bail, which was in August of 2024.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so in December, which bail I was blocking that time?
Well, only you know, General, because these are your words.
Yeah,
Remember, he was rearrested in September 2024, Mr. Tao, for violating his bail conditions.
Yeah, I didn't know. But remember me, I'm telling you, I was telling him about the gossip which I had to say, this is said about me.
Okay. Chair, we'll take the agenda.
Let's adjourn and resume at 11:30.